So after a couple of months of not really any structured training, it's time to change things and officially start my winter training plan. In this video, I'll explain what I'm doing for winter and some of the ways I'm hoping that I'll make myself better for next year, as I have some big races coming up and some even bigger ambitions. If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. My name is Chris, a very much amateur triathlete from North Devon. I document my training amongst other things here on the channel, so I hope to see you again in a future video. Now, I can't really remember when or why it started, but I haven't done any structured training in quite a while now. That means no intervals on the bike and very little speed work on the run. I'd have to look back at my calendar to try and work out where things started going wrong, but I know for sure that getting COVID recently definitely delayed things further. Both before and after getting COVID, it's been very much a case of just ticking over. I haven't really been doing anything that's ultimately going to make me faster. That all changes now though, as I officially start my winter training plan. Now, I could always just go on something like Trainer Road and do a generic plan like I did on the lead up to 70.3 Weymouth. But instead, I decided to sign up with Triathlon Dan and Matt Waterfield and be part of their SendIt Squad this winter. I do all of my training on my own, so the social aspect of it, albeit virtually, will be a nice change. I did something similar this time last year, but that was a dedicated cycling plan, so I'm really excited to do something similar this year, but with a fully fledged triathlon plan. Now, when I don't have a plan written out in front of me, I really don't have a clue on what I'm doing, especially when it comes to run training. And so to not have to think about anything and literally just do what's written on the plan really appeals to me. I'm using this opportunity to officially start my prep for next year's races, which I'm really excited to share with you very soon. Now, I'm using this start of the plan to actually work on a few other goals at the same time. These are to focus more on recovery, flexibility and diet. Starting with recovery. Now, although I do sleep quite a lot and sleep quite well, there is definitely more I can do to recover better. For example, I need to find myself a dedicated strength and conditioning or stretching routine. I need something simple that I don't have to think about and can do consistently over time. So if you have any recommendations, please do leave them in the comments below. I'm looking to develop a habit around stretching. So this could be something as simple as stretching whilst watching the TV in the evening instead of sitting on the sofa. I also need to make sure I'm stretching after a training session, as that's something I've definitely been slack with. In terms of diet, this is something I definitely intend to put more focus into going forward. So for context, I'm 6'5" and probably just under 100 kilos. I'll be doing my first official weigh-in tomorrow morning. Now that might sound really heavy, and of course it is, but being so tall is not quite as noticeable when you compare it to someone that's a lot shorter than me. But that's not an excuse to lose weight, and I know doing so will actually make me a lot better in triathlon, along with the training of course. One of the races I have planned next year is very hilly, hint hint, and so carrying all of those extra kilos is just going to hold me back. Now, I'm not overly worried about how I physically look, but trying to get rid of some of those podgier bits will be a very nice bonus. I'm getting married in May next year, and then I have Outlaw Half Nottingham just 2 weeks after. So time is really starting to tick now. My initial goal is to be under 90 kilos for then, which I think is quite doable. Obviously it's still around 7 months away, so I'm going to reassess nearer the time, and if I can, potentially aim for the mid-80s. So at the time of recording, the plan officially starts tomorrow. I'm really excited to get going and see what fitness I can build over the winter. I actually did a ramp test earlier today, and I was quite surprised to see an increase in my FTP. The last few tests that I've done have been bang on 335 watts, and today's test recorded 337 watts. Now, I appreciate this is a very minute increase. It's almost not relevant given how small it is, but it's nice to know that I haven't gone backwards recently. And it's also a good starting point to start the winter block. So if you enjoyed this video, you might want to check out this one where I cover a full week of triathlon training after a couple of weeks off with illness. I'm going to continue documenting my progress over the winter, so subscribe if you haven't already to keep up to speed with that. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop this video a like. Thanks again so much for watching. I'll see you next time.